Soren, let's see. You asked me some about the kind of work that I did over the years. And so this is a summary of the professional careers that I had over the years. First, to start with, I graduated from Stanford in 1970. So that's when I graduate from college. I did take some classes and do additional work. It's called postgraduate work, but my main degree I got in 1970. And so then when we start talking about when do I start work, 1971. In 1971, I had just graduated and actually left a PhD program, and I was back here in Menlo Park, and I did various jobs. And during the summer of 1971, I volunteered at a day camp for children, a special day camp, and that really changed my life. I decided at that point in 1971 that I wanted to work with children full time. And in January 1972, I started work in an elementary school near my home in a place called East Palo Alto. And it was a few miles away from my parents' house where I lived and my grandfather's home where I eventually moved to. And I was working in elementary education from 1972 to 1981. And I worked mainly with children in second and third grades, mainly. I started out as a teacher aide. I was helping teachers. I was teaching small groups of children. And then I decided to go and get my teaching credential. So I went back to school and I continued to work in the school district as what's called a student teacher, where I was getting the training to become a teacher myself. And then I had my own classroom for 4 years. And basically, during that time, I met my wife and I married my wife. And it was clear that I needed to earn more money than I could get as a school teacher in the place where I was. And so I actually started to take computer classes in 1981. And in 1981, and in September 1981, I started working for a company called Hewlett-Packard. Hewlett-Packard is a worldwide corporation or worldwide company, and it actually does a great deal of business in France. And while I was at Hewlett-Packard, I did a lot of work with the division that's based in Grenoble, and a group that was based in Lyon. During my time at Hewlett-Packard, between 1981 and 2002, I did several different jobs. So I would, and so I started out as what's called a computer operator. And basically I was helping load big old tapes into big old machines so that the computer could do its work. This was in 1981. And I then did that for about a year, and then I started work as a technical writer, where I wrote reference manuals and books about computers and about computers networking or communicating with each other. I was working in networking or data communications. I started as a writer. Then I eventually became a manager, and I managed two fairly small groups of engineers. I then moved into the education part of Hewlett-Packard in working with the Hewlett-Packard engineers, and I was a project manager, which means that I was responsible to organize small groups of professionals to accomplish a common goal. And in my case, we were doing what's called course development. So we were writing courses for other Hewlett-Packard engineers to take so that they could support our products. And during that time in the education, I also did what was called program management, where I was defining the strategies that we used to manage different sets of courses, different areas of our curriculum where we were teaching either Hewlett-Packard engineers or teaching Hewlett-Packard customers. And so it was mainly my work in the high-tech corporation was mainly a form of project management, putting together groups of people and getting them to work together to accomplish common goals that involved creating products or courses or books. In 2002, I took early retirement from Hewlett-Packard because my wife had cancer. And at that time, we had 4 children, and